Welcome to Arkansas Wildlife. We've got a full show lined up for you this week. We're going to be talking free fishing weekend, some ways to improve wildlife habitat on your land, and also an educational program from the Game and Fish Commission that's all for the ladies. That's the BOW program, Becoming an Outdoors Woman, which every year introduces about 120 to 140 ladies to all sorts of activities that they can do in the great outdoors. A lot of people aren't aware that the Game and Fish Commission has a private lands biologist program. And what that means is we've got a crew of biologists around the state that will come out and visit with you and help you achieve the goals for habitat and wildlife on your little piece of Arkansas. And finally, we're going to look at Free Fishing Weekend. That's June 9th through the 11th this year in the natural state by proclamation of Governor Asa Hutchinson. But first, we're going to check in with Captain Stephanie Weatherington. She's the boating law administrator from the Game and Fish Commission's Enforcement Division with some tips for safe boating throughout the summer. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us this week talking about boating. You're our boating law administrator for Game and Fish. Memorial Day weekend, kick off the boating season. What's the message you want to give folks going into the rest of summertime?
Well, one, thank you, because they did really good over Memorial Day weekend. We didn't have any accidents,
oh, that's
no
great
fatalities.
News.
So yeah, that was great. Keep a proper lookout when you're on the water. Be aware of your surroundings. Obviously, always wear your life jacket, even if you're an adult. We preach it. Try and wear your life jacket to be the good role model for your kids and others around you, and never drink and boat. That's probably the three top messages we want to get out. Yeah.
Those are important. We're talking about keeping a proper lookout. You've told me that is really the #1 cause of boating accidents in Arkansas and nationally.
Absolutely, yeah. It's failure to keep a proper lookout, operator inattention. You've got distracted driving. Don't be texting and driving. It's the same as in a vehicle, but things happen so much quicker on the water than they do on the road.
And you said there's no lanes. Yeah. There's no traffic signals.
No turn signals. No, yeah. It's really free for all out there. Yeah.
Talking about boating under the influence, I think you've told me about 27% of the accidents last year involved alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol or drug use was the leading contributing factor in all the fatalities, 25 or 27% of all the fatalities.
Wow. Yeah. One of the things that you and the other folks from our enforcement division and other law enforcement agencies around the state will be doing coming up 4th of July weekend is Operation Dry Water. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, we're going into our 9th year of doing this. It's a national program campaign. All 56 states and territories are participating. It's basically just a heightened awareness weekend of the dangers of operating under the influence. We're going to do a lot of education pieces, media push outs on the dangers of boating and operating under the influence, and we'll have checkpoint saturation, so every officer is going to be on the water looking for drunk boaters out there.
Okay, Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us this week, and I guess, always our main message is wear that life jacket. Stick around, we've got a full show lined up and this week's winner of a free hunting and fishing license right after this break. Arkansas Wildlife is brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Academy.
BOW is Becoming an Outdoors Woman. It is a nonprofit educational program that is for women 18 and older. And it's a weekend, it's all geared around being at least one weekend a year. And it runs from Friday to Sunday with 4 sessions. So you get one Friday afternoon, 2 Saturday, and 1 Sunday. And it's outdoor activities. It's to get women involved in outdoor activities.
It just goes around the tree, like so.
It's geared towards being what they call the 1/3 rule. So we like to do it 1/3 hunting, 1/3 fishing, and 1/3 non-consumptive. We found that non-consumptive is getting to be really popular, and so we try to add a few more classes every year, every couple years, try to add some additional ones and then see which ones aren't being as utilized throughout the last few years, and then kind of replace as we go, just to keep it going, because those non-consumptive ones, women love that type of stuff. They love getting out and learning. Those are kind of the easier things, the hiking, the camping, things like that. This was started for single women, and I think it's evolved since then. I think instead of just being that single mom out there, it's geared, getting to be where it's geared more towards women of every age, of every walk in life kind of thing. You're finding so many different age groups out there that are wanting to get involved.
Whether you're a city girl or a country girl or outdoors, it's for everybody. There's so many class options to take. You get your first, second, third, fourth choice, and then and whatever you can get into. So you're really not disappointed. Even if you don't get your first choice of class, you can still get into the second choice or third or fourth. And but anything you take will just, it'll build your confidence up in whatever field that you want to learn more about. Even if you think you're pretty efficient in that field, you can take it, and you will definitely learn something that you probably didn't learn before.
I took beginners Dutch oven, like the basics. Then I took basic fishing, hiking and backpacking, and then advanced Dutch oven cooking. Of course, I loved all the food with the Dutch oven, but the basic fishing was by far my favorite. I've gone fishing a couple of times, like with my husband, but he has baited my hook, tied every knot. He has always done all the yucky fishy stuff. And yesterday I learned 2 knots, baited my own hook twice, caught a catfish, cleaned a catfish, and filleted a catfish all by myself. I learned a lot, and it was taught by 2 men, and I loved that I didn't know a lot, and those men, like, they were patient and supportive, and they were not the least bit condescending. It was just great. It was a great experience. And there was a lot of bonding. Of course, there was a lot of women out there, and so it was a lot of knowledge, but it was just really easy and fun, and you got to be a little bit of a leader, but also be a big part of the team. So I liked both of those aspects.
I would say if all else fails, that it's just a great way to experience a lot of different things, and you don't have to go and invest a lot of money, and go and buy all the fancy equipment, because, they provide everything. You get to come and experience it, and maybe you decide you don't really like it, but you start a leg ahead just by doing these little sessions. Just really do give you a step up in the process, and give you kind of directions to look if you do want to do more research and learning. But you don't feel like you have to make a huge financial investment with all the equipment and all that if you realize that it's not your cup of tea.
You're not walking into this weekend necessarily by yourself. You're not the newbie all the time. You understand that walking into a weekend like this, everybody around you is taking these introductory classes. If you really enjoy hunting, but you've never tried fishing or something else, this gives you a chance to do that. If you have fished your whole life, but you've never been hunting before and you want to try hunting, it gives you a chance to do that. It has such a variety of classes to take that just because you might have been involved throughout your whole life in one particular thing like kayaking, there's so many other things that you can try to get involved in. So it gives you that variety where you can get that confidence in learning new things.
You can learn about the plants. You can learn how to go out just outdoors with your kids, because they're interested in what mom does, what dad does, and they don't know. We have too many video games, so you got to get your kids out there.
Just realizing that everything in nature is there for a reason, and we can either choose to embrace it or be afraid of it, and I want to embrace it.
Do it. Do it. Like I said, I had never even heard of this, and there are so many choices. It's just new and exciting and fun. Like, I learned so much from all of this, and there is something here for everybody. Somebody can find their outside here, whether they're trekking through the woods, whether they're catching a fish, whether they're shooting a shotgun. There is something here for everybody. It's so diverse, and I love that. Here he is, my catfish.
Arkansas Wildlife is brought to you in part by Zimmerman Sports Center on South University in Little Rock.
It's your license to a good morning.
Your license to solitude. Your license to teach. To celebrate. To brag. To bond. It's your license to party. The Arkansas Game and Fish Fishing License. Your license to fun. Get yours today at agfc.com and let the fun begin.
Mr. Hughes here has done, he was involved in our Acres for Wildlife program, which is a Game and Fish Commission program that it provides cost share for landowners. It also provides native grass seed and herbicide. Cost share that it does provide is for prescribed burning and some timber stand improvement. On this particular property, we signed up Mr. Hughes for about 40 acres worth of native grass seed and the herbicide to herbicide out the fescue that was in this field, you know, before he planted the native grass.
My local private lands biologist has been a big help in evaluating the property I have, looking at the grasses and wildlife and so forth that's here, and then putting a plan together, actually a 2-year plan for how to establish some native grasses, some different types of food plots, to attract the wildlife that I'm most interested in. To get the native grasses started, we began with a prescribed burn, and we did that in February of the year. And my local private lands biologist was a huge help in that, in terms of putting a prescribed burn plan together, and also providing some additional resources in terms of individuals, and then also helping with the equipment that was needed, and just teaching me how the prescribed burn should be done. And then in terms of just the seeding process, my biologist was able to actually loan me a seed drill, and I was able to plant about a little bit over 50 acres in one day using the seed drill, with using some native grass seed that my biologist was able to provide to me. And so it's been an ongoing process. It wasn't just one meeting, just an initial, let's get started, how do I do this type thing, but it's been an ongoing process where he's been out numerous times to evaluate what we've done so far and see what adjustments need to be made. And so it's gone very well, and we've got a good stand of grass as a result of that. You know, the wildlife love these native grasses. You know, I've seen deer, they love to feed out here in the grass, and they especially love to bed down. The grass at this point is almost head high to a human, and so the deer love it as cover. I've seen a lot of turkey that I weren't seeing before. The turkey actually it's been kind of overwhelming how many turkey I've seen out here. Before I just saw a limited number, so that's been very exciting. I have seen a lot of dove out here as well, and quail. So it seems like the native grasses have really just kind of attracted a variety of wildlife. I would highly recommend a private lands biologist to someone else that's interested in developing some of their property for wildlife. You know, one of the things that I really liked about the process was the biologist was very interested in my goals and what I wanted to see on the property, so it wasn't just a matter of what would be best for the Game and Fish Commission, but it was, for me, what was I really wanting to achieve on my property.
This place we're at now, Foul Play, it was already in WRP. And WRP is a wetland reserve program that has since changed since the last farm bill to the wetland reserve easement. In 2013, they had basically a hay pasture up here that they were cutting for hay, just to keep it cut. They wasn't getting anything out of it. So just want to know if there was something they could do for fawning areas, possibly quail, or if a turkey happened to come through here, you know, what we could do. So we used Partners for Fish and Wildlife to plant native grasses. So we came in, sprayed Arsenal on the Bahia grass, and got the site prep done, eradicated the bad stuff. And that fall, we followed it up. We're planting with big blue stem, little blue stem, Coreopsis, black-eyed Susans, purple cone flowers, more wildlife-friendly grass out there, if you will. Summer of 2013, Ronnie called and said, man, I want you to see about getting one of your waterfowl guys or somebody to come down. So Mr. LC, the owner of the property, wants to see what he can do to enhance his duck hunting. It was about this time of year, September, latter part of September, they showed up with a disc and got it back to dirt. So what we did was go from woody debris that had basically little to no duck use days to now we've probably got somewhere along the lines of 1 million duck use days on this property out here.
People don't understand this, but it's a lot of programs out there that will help the landowners develop their property for if they want to hunt, bird watch, recreation, ride, whatever around over to look. But there's programs out there. You just have to get with somebody like Bubba or Chris with WRP or Jason. You know, we did a lot of the work, you know, and we're reimbursed on a lot of the funding of it. And it's like I say, it's a great deal. And everywhere I have worked, I've managed property for 20 years. Everywhere I worked, the first thing I did was get with the Arkansas Game and Fish. The ducks it's unreal. It's just, it just blows your mind what it was and what it is now.
88 to 90% of Arkansas is privately owned. So if we're going to make a big impact on wildlife resources across the state, it's going to have to be done on private lands.
Arkansas Wildlife is brought to you in part by Arkansas's own PK Grills, maker of the new PK 360, the best and last grill you'll ever buy.
We're not asking you to wear it everywhere. Just please, wear a life jacket when you're on the water this summer.
More than 500,000 people buy Arkansas fishing licenses each year. But for one weekend in June, anybody can try fishing in the natural state without purchasing a license. It's Free Fishing Weekend, and it happens every year.
Here in Arkansas this year, Free Fishing Weekend is going to start at noon on Friday, June the 9th, and it's going to go through midnight on Sunday, June 11th. So you essentially get 2.5 full days that you can fish without a license. Every year we look forward to Free Fishing Weekend. We did some digging through the archives, and the first reference we could find to it was 1985, so this is at least our 32nd annual Free Fishing Weekend. It always comes on the tail end of the National Boating and Fishing Weekend. All the rules and regs normal apply. You know, you need to follow your limits, get your guide, make sure you know what your rules are, where you go, but no license, no trout stamps for any adult over 16 years of age. As always, anybody under 16 can fish anytime. Free Fishing Weekend is really a chance for folks to get out and either try fishing for the first time, or maybe they hung up fishing a while ago, have memories as a child or whatever, and want to try again. This is basically a chance for folks to get a trial run, don't have to invest any money in a license, and get out there and give it a try.
Finding a place to fish isn't hard. From big waters like Greer's Ferry Lake to small mountain creeks, natural state anglers have many choices. But during Free Fishing Weekend, anglers 12 and under can find excellent fishing at Game and Fish hatcheries.
So every year during Free Fishing Weekend on the Saturday, which this year is June the 10th, we host kids fishing derbies at our hatcheries around the state. We have 5 hatchery facilities, 4 warm water facilities that produce bass and crappie and catfish and things, and then 1 trout facility. And the trout is in Mammoth Springs, and the others are in Corning, Centerton, Hot Springs, and Lone Oak. And these events are for kids 12 and under. They go from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. on Saturday. And you need to bring your own fishing gear, but we'll definitely have the fish, and folks catch some really great fish. It's a good time with the family. Fishing at a hatchery is always a great place to go. It's one to go fish, say, a freshly stocked pond or something, but these are the ponds where the fish are made, so it doesn't get any better than that. Free Fishing Weekend, we here consider as a game and fish event, but in reality, it's an official proclamation every year by the governor's office, so it's a fully official state-sanctioned event.
People fish for many reasons. Some anglers are looking to fill a creel with fish for the dinner table. Others are looking for something less tangible, like good times with family and friends.
Free Fishing Weekend is all about going out and giving it a free trial run, but at $10.50, Arkansas has the second cheapest license in the country, and so less than $1 a month you can go out. If you go look at catfish fillets are about $6 to $7 a pound right now. You catch 1 or 2 fish and you've paid for that thing already. So it's a heck of a bargain, and the memories and other things that go along with fishing and the time with family and friends is priceless.
Arkansas Wildlife presents the Watch and Win giveaway. During each episode of Arkansas Wildlife, we'll give away an Arkansas resident hunting and fishing license, a $35.50 value provided by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Visit the Arkansas Wildlife webpage at agfc.com/Arkansas Wildlife TV and click on the Watch and Win icon to enter. This week's winner is Gary Jackson from Searcy. Congratulations and thanks for watching.